July 2025 will come before you know it, and it will be another great month of gaming. No matter if you love games with amazing combat, games with a rich story, or games that will keep your heart racing at all times, I believe there will be something that will spark your interest. So today I've comprised 10 great games I'm looking forward to in July 2025, and hopefully they will all run on the Steam Deck. Let's check it out. So let's start out with Missile Command Delta. Missile Command Delta is going to be released on July 8th, and it is a tactical turn-based game where you must take care of your various defenses. Now, as far as this game goes, the main objective is to survive waves of missiles in which they are all very merciless and unforgiving, in which one mistake can lead to very drastic, very deadly consequences. Now, as far as Missile Command Delta goes, if you love solving mysteries and you love exploration and you love puzzle solving, then this game will be definitely something worth to check out. Now, as far as Missile Command Delta goes, will it run on a Steam Deck? I don't see why Missile Command Delta will not run on a Steam Deck, as Missile Command Delta does not look too graphically demanding, but we shall wait and see. Once again, Missile Command Delta is going to be released on July 8th. Now, up next is Mycopunk. Mycopunk is going to be released on July 10th, and it is a action first-person shooter game where it supports online co-op, and where in this game you get to embark on various dangerous planet missions and do all it takes to get rid of a deadly fungal menace. It really looks like a fun, chaotic co-op game which has an artistic world to be in, and where there are also futuristic firearms that you get to blast around like crazy as if it is your planet. Now, as far as Mycopunk goes, will it run on the Steam Deck? There actually is a demo out if you want to try it on the Steam Deck to see if it runs, but from my opinion, it looks as if it is a game in which it is not too graphically demanding, so I don't see why it won't run on the Steam Deck, but we shall wait and see. Once again, Mycopunk is going to be released on July 10th. Now, up next is Dawn Apart. Dawn Apart is going to be released on July 14th, and it is a colony and factory simulator game in which you get to gather various resources as well as design productive lines. Basically, in this game, your goal is to do all it takes to transform a once alien landscape to become a prosperous colony, in which you also get to defend against various environmental hazards as well as various alien forces. Now, as far as Dawn Apart goes, will it run on the Steam Deck? There's actually a demo out available for you to try if you want to see if this game will definitely run on the Steam Deck or not. But from my experience looking at the trailers and doing the research, it doesn't look like a game that is too demanding, so I believe that it will be able to run on the Steam Deck, but we shall wait and see. Once again, Dawn Apart is going to be released on July 14th. Now, up next is Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition. Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition is going to be released on July 15th, and this game was originally released back in 2006. Now, as far as this game goes, it looks like a really fun RPG game that is based on, you know it, Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 Edition rule set. Now, as far as me goes, my personal history with Dungeons & Dragons, I personally never really got the chance to play Dungeons & Dragons, although I really am interested in it because as a kid, I really loved pretend play and loved video games, so why not have a mixture of both of them by playing Dungeons & Dragons? However, I never had the chance to because primarily I did not have friends that were interested to commit those type of extensive lengths of gameplay sessions to play a campaign. And even today, I now have friends who like games like the way I do love playing games and playing it with other friends, but for the most part, my friends, they like more of those co-op or multiplayer games. They like to play still on the screen and not so much the tabletop games. So that is something that I never really get too much exposure with. Hopefully, Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition will be able to play on the Steam Deck. Once again, Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition is going to be released on July 15th. Now, up next is Hunter x Hunter Nan X Impact. Hunter x Hunter Nan X Impact, I almost said the name wrong because the name is too long, is going to be released on July 16th. In this 2D fighting anime style game, you can play team battle of 3v3 where you face each other online and get to fight in all these different cool stages with flashy combat and in style. well. There's also a story mode that you can engage in where there are various cool moments that you get to witness. Now, as far as this game goes, will it run on a Steam Deck? There's actually a demo out for you to try if you want to see for yourself to see if it works on a Steam Deck, but based on my speculation, I believe that Hunter x Hunter Nan X Impact should be able to run on the Steam Deck for two reasons. Number one, I feel like it will be able to run on the Steam Deck because a lot of fighting games do run on the Steam Deck, so there is a good track record for fighting games to run on the Steam Deck, and this game doesn't look too demanding. But also, number two, a lot of anime games run on a Steam Deck pretty well, so I feel like this game shouldn't have a problem to be able to run on a Steam Deck. But again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Hunter x Hunter Nan X Impact is going to be released on July 16th. Now up next is Shadow Labyrinth. Shadow Labyrinth is going to be released on July 17th, and it is a 2D action platformer which mixes the concept of Pac-Man in it. Now, as far as this game goes, you get to play as the swordsman, in which you wake up on a mysterious planet which has relics of the past. This game, as far as the story goes, I don't know too much about it, but it really looks like a beautiful world that you get to explore and witness, where you get to platform, discover various secrets, as well as devour different enemies, and also, more importantly, start as being the prey and eventually becoming the predator. It is something that just looks really cool, really fun, really punishing, as well as really chaotic. Now, as far as Shadow Labyrinth goes, will it run on the Steam Deck? I personally don't see why it won't run on the Steam Deck because this game does not look too graphically demanding, but again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Shadow Labyrinth is going to be released on July 17th. Now, up next is Hellclock. Hellclock is a dungeon crawler roguelike game where you get to blast through chaotic dungeons in a dark fantasy world. In this game, you get to play as Paju, who is a warrior on a mission to rescue the soul of his mentor. There are various skills in the game in which there are multiple ways to customize your build, and where it looks as if it is a game in which I will get addicted to the gameplay elements of it, and where the only thing that will stop me from continuing playing is to tell myself that, Joe, it is time to go to bed. But anyways, as far as Hellclock goes, will it run on the Steam Deck? There's actually a demo available for you to try out to see for yourself about whether or not the game will run on the Steam Deck. But my guess, as far as somebody who just looked at the trailers and look at the aesthetics and whatnot, I feel like it shouldn't have a problem to run on a Steam Deck, as Hellclock does not look too demanding. But again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Hellclock is going to be released on July 22nd. Now, up next is Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Wuchang Fallen Feathers is going to be released on July 23rd, and it is a Souls-like action RPG game set in the land of Shu, which takes place during the Ming Dynasty, and where this land is unfortunately infected by a faction, where there's also a mysterious sickness that occurs, as well as there are monstrous creatures that the people in the land got to deal with. It looks like a beautiful game with high hopes of a deep lore, as well as awesome, punishing, unforgiving combat. Now, as far as me goes, I'm really excited to hopefully be able to try out Wuchang Fallen Feathers. The main reason why is because I'm Chinese, and for me, I just feel like it would be really cool to be able to experience China, as well as experience it with some MCs that I would potentially be able to enjoy. It will feel a bit more relatable. But anyways, Wuchang Fallen Feathers, will it run on the Steam Deck? I feel like it is really hard to say, because based on a lot of recent Unreal Engine 5 games, they may run on the Steam Deck, but with a lot of compromises. But again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Wuchang Fallen Feathers is going to be released on July 23rd. Now, up next is Killing Floor 3. Killing Floor 3 is going to be released on July 24th, and it is an intense first-person shooter game where you can have up to 5 other teammates, and where you get to battle waves of enemies, and where in this game you will be able to most likely keep your adrenaline up, as well as unlock new skills, as well as establish ultimate arsenal. It looks like a really thrilling, chaotic game where you never know what will happen next. Now, as far as Killing Floor 3, will it be able to run on the Steam Deck? I feel like there is a possibility that Killing Floor 3 will be able to run on the Steam Deck, as the Killing Floor series have a good track record of them working on the Steam Steam Deck, so I feel like there could be a possibility for Killing Floor 3 to be able to run on the Steam Deck in some shape or form, but we shall wait and see. Once again, Killing Floor 3 is going to be released on July 24th. Alright, last but not least, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is going to be released on July 31st, and it is a new side-scrolling game in the Ninja Gaiden franchise. Now, as far as this game goes, it is developed by the Game Kitchen Studio, which is the studio that made Blasphemous, another platformer game. Now, as far as Ninja Gaiden Ragebound goes, it looks like a game that has really awesome soundtrack, which fits the vibe of the game, where you go about and slash at those different enemies and fight them and beat them up with no mercy whatsoever, and where it also seems to have a beautiful world to explore. I feel like if I'm somebody who tries out Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, I feel like I would definitely want to see every nit and pieces, every secret area the world has to offer. Now, as far as Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, will it run on a Steam Deck? There actually is a demo out for you to try in case you want to see if it will work on the Steam Deck, but from my personal experience researching and whatnot, I feel like Ninja Gaiden Ragebound should not have a problem running on the Steam Deck, and that is for two reasons. Number one, I feel like the game is not too graphically demanding, but also number two, because Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is also developed by the Game Kitchen Studio, which developed Blasphemous, and Blasphemous runs pretty well on the Steam Deck. I don't see why Ninja Gaiden Ragebound will not run on the Steam Deck, but we shall wait and see. Once again, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is going to be released on July 31st. Alright friends, these are 10 great games in which I'm excited for that are all coming out in July 2025. Let me know in the comment section below, are there any games that you are excited for that are coming out in July 2025? We'd love to discuss in the comment section below. And as always, if you love gaming lists, gaming reviews, gaming discussions, and everything related to the Steam Deck, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so you not miss another video. I try to post Mondays and Fridays around 6 p.m. Pacific time, so stay tuned. Once again, my name is Joey for the Nomadic Gaming Guild, and game on!